Chidiebere, 37, Belmont, Port of Spain. He is walking down Jerningham Avenue on a Tuesday afternoon, not thinking about anything in particular, when it hits him. The smell comes from a window above a hardware shop. Someone up there is cooking jiawai. He knows this before he knows it. Palm oil, onions, crayfish, and underneath everything, the deep salt smoke of azu amirami, smoked fish, seasoned and dried, and the specific starchy sweetness of yams softening in the pot. He stops walking. He has not smelled that smell in 11 years. His grandmother, Nwozuru, suddenly everywhere. Ndewo. No. I am Yvonne Chioma Mbanefo, futurist and daughter of the soil. Welcome to Igbo Daily Drops. Episode 26, Week 6, Day 2, Tuesday. The sentences that name what the body never forgot. Ka anyị bido. Let us begin. The Igbo have a saying for what happened to Chidiebere on Jerningham Avenue. Ihe ị na-achọ n'oke elu dị n'oke ala. Ihe ị na-achọ n'oke elu dị n'oke ala. The thing you are searching for on the top shelf, it was always on the bottom shelf. His grandmother, the language, the smell of that pot. He never had to search. He never had to go anywhere. It was always there, one street away, waiting in someone's kitchen, ready to stop him in his tracks. Today you learn to say what you are doing right now as you do it. Eating, drinking, eating yam. Present tense. The tense of arrival. 3 sentences and 1 architecture that will stay with you the rest of your life. His grandmother Nwozuru came to Trinidad as a young Igbo bride, and she never stopped being Igbo. She spoke English. She spoke Creole. She moved through Belmont as if she had been born there. But when she was excited or angry or in love with something, she went back to Igbo, automatically, like a door swinging open. She smoked her own fish, azu gbamgbam, mackerel, that she seasoned herself with her own spices and dried in the sun and the smoke until it became azu amirami. Everyone in the family had an Igbo name. Chidiebere, his mother Odinaka, his uncle Nnamdi, his sister Uzamaka. None of them, growing up, understood this was unusual. Jiawai yam pottage was a one-pot thing. Nwozuru never made it any other way. Yam in the water first, then everything at once. The palm oil, the onions, the pepper, the crayfish, the stock, the salt, the smoked fish broken in by hand. Cook it down until the yam is soft on the outside but still firm at the center, soggy but present. Comfort that holds its shape. She would say something over the pot when she stirred it. Igbo words. Nobody asked what they meant. Now Chidiebere is standing on Jerningham Avenue with a smell in his nose and 11 years of distance between himself and his grandmother's kitchen, and something in his chest has cracked open in the way that only smell can crack things open. Without warning, without mercy, without asking whether you are ready. Ana m eri nri. Can hear her voice saying it, though he did not know until this moment that was what she was saying. I am eating food. Come, sit. Ana m eri ji. I am eating yam. You eat too. He does not go upstairs. He does not knock on the stranger's door. He stands on the pavement and he receives it. The smell, the memory, the language he grew up inside without knowing it was a language. And when he starts walking again, he is already looking for somewhere to buy yam. Ana m aṅụ mmiri. He stops at the standpipe. He drinks. He goes to find his grandmother's pot. When I think about what happened to Chidiebere on that pavement, I think about what the elders understood about the relationship between smell and memory, that the nose is the oldest archive. Maureen Warner-Lewis, scholar of African linguistics and diaspora studies at the University of the West Indies, Mona, documented in her seminal 1991 work, Guinea's Other Sons, The African Dynamic in Trinidad Culture, the continued presence of Igbo linguistic and cultural survivals, from naming patterns and food vocabulary to ceremonial language, in Trinidadian families unaware of their Igbo origins. Nwozuru naming every child. Nwozuru saying things over the pot. These are the patterns Warner-Lewis found across communities. The culture did not disappear. It went into the kitchen. It went into the names. Among the Yoruba, the ancestral knowledge held in food practice and domestic ritual is understood as Imo Abalaba, elder wisdom embedded in daily life. The same understanding exists in Igbo thought and in every culture that survived forced displacement by hiding what it knew in the ordinary. Neuroscientists studying the olfactory system have confirmed what the Igbo grandmother practiced every day. Smell bypasses the cognitive brain entirely and connects directly to the limbic system, the seat of emotion and long-term memory. No other sense does this. You cannot think your way into a smell's memory. It arrives before thought. It arrived before he was ready. The bottom shelf. It was always the bottom shelf. Now, let's build your drops for today. Repeat after me. 1. Ana m eri nri. I am eating food. Ana m eri nri. Ana m eri nri. 2. Ana m aṅụ mmiri. I am drinking water. Ana m aṅụ mmiri. Ana m aṅụ mmiri. 3. Ana m eri ji. I am eating yam. Ana m eri ji. Ana m eri ji. Take this with you. Ihe ị na-achọ n'oke elu dị n'oke ala. The thing you have been searching for on the top shelf was always in the bottom shelf. Your grandmother's language, your people's food, the smell that stopped you on a Tuesday afternoon and cracked you open without asking permission. Before this day is done, say Ana m eri ji to yourself as you eat. Not to practice, to remember that you were always already home. Every sentence you learn is a drop, and every drop feeds Oke Osimiri Mmụta Igbo, the ocean of Igbo knowledge. Grab your free speaking workbook at learnigbonow.com. This has been your Igbo Daily Drop. Abụ m nwanne gị nwanyị Yvonne Chioma Mbanefo. I am your sister Yvonne Chioma Mbanefo. Ka isi ji awaị gị taa ruo gị n'ime, ka ọ kpọlaa gị ụlọ. May the smell of your yam pottage today reach inside you and take you home. Ka anyị hụ echi. Until we meet again tomorrow.